The phone was ringing, buzzing all hours while everyone is in panic from the horror of this teen. It's coming closer, it's coming towards the happiest and most safest kingdom in Remnant. She's coming, coming to demolish everything she loves. The moon glows bright as it illuminates the night sky, but then it changes into a crescent shape. Rose petals were floating away from the moon. Everyone was silent until the flower strikes from above. Everyone was running from this horrific girl in red, covered in recent blood stains. You can tell that she'd been through a lot, but there's always that happy smile that melts your heart. She would go around and slaughter the people she cares, torture them until they give out an answer, and most importantly, kill the new fall maiden. Everyone has a goal, right? Well, this girl will do anything to accomplish that goal, even if it meant killing. She doesn't have a problem killing innocent people, so it wasn't a hard goal. The kingdom of Vale has completely turned silent after a few minutes of her arrival, with fresh bodies all over the streets. The little girl walks up to Beacon Tower to meet the exchange student. She goes in front of the door and kicks it open to surprise the maiden in her dorm. Cinder Falls was her name and she wasn't aware of this. The little girl's weapon penetrates her stomach, making it coming out from the other side. Cinder fell on her bed, changing the bed sheets into a bright red color. She has completed her one and only goal, a goal that was destined to be finished. After the murder, she feels the need to kill more. She roams around the rooms of Beacon, searching for new victims. None was found because they're already sleeping. She then got the perfect idea and discovered a new goal. Of course, it involved murder, but this one seems harder. She walked through the woods, killing Grims along the way. Her hood was up, covering the blood splattered on her face. She picks up the pace and runs through the forest with her semblance activated. The destination has been reached and it was her sister's house. Team RWBY can't be completed without her. I guess I'll aim for the big guy, she thought. Taiyang heard about this from the news. He was more shocked than ever that his little Rose has gone into a killing spree. He blocked off the door and closes his window so that an expected guest could not come in. A few minutes later, a slash through the door was seen. The familiar scythe that was from an uncle, and now it's dripping blood from the tip of the crescent. The door shattered, revealing Little Red in the front of the doorway. She walks slowly towards him, making him fear of his own daughter. Taiyang backs up, dreaming of the good times they had each other. Taiyang closes his eyes, making it easier for the little red girl. Then without hesitation, a huge splash of blood was scattered the whole window. The little girl was in need of more killing. She licks the blood from her lips, then heads back to the forest. Ruby the name, killing is my game. Another teammate who has been shattered and broken. Depths of the grasp of her own father who disciplines his daughter and is now fear of the princess. The little ice queen enters his room, seeing the panic in his eyes as he's shaking in fear. She walks slowly towards him, with the weapon that was entrusted by her own father. This was clearly revenge for the queen and she doesn't deny it as she pierced the heart of the main Schnee. Jacques Schnee, who was successful at the beginning and left for dead in the end. She pulls out her Myrtanaster from the body and continue her execution. She went to her brother's room to take back the title that doesn't belong to him. The door was locked, but it wasn't a problem. The summoned Borbatusk knocks the door down, surprising her brother Whitley. She stands in the doorway, with blood dripping from the tip of the blade. He starts to ask questions, but the Snowangel answers them with her weapon. She charges at her brother at full speed, creating a blur in his vision. Whiteley petrified in fear as the Myrtanaster skewered through him, breaking his aura completely. He went down on one knee trying to find out what's wrong with her, but apparently he doesn't have time for that. The weapon was pointed at the back of his neck. His tears starts to flow out of his eyes, running on his cheeks. His heart pounding of fear, not ready to die. He afraid to ask her, but he's also afraid of triggering the sharp blade that was above his neck. His heart starts to soften as he heard his sister's voice. I could actually let you live, but I have to discard you for that title you hold currently. This title was with me for years and I'm not letting anyone carry it, not even my younger brother. Whiteley feels a pain in his stomach, hurting from the inside by the words that was spoken by his older sister. But the heart softens when a hatred sentence goes through it. The feeling of hate that he'd been through ever since he was a child and is now being executed by the same hate that she has. The weapon went back a few feet before slicing the head as fountain of blood spew out from the opened neck. The Myrtanaster turned into a bright red sword, beginning to rust from too much blood. Her revenge got the best of her, but she is in need to kill more. She favors love and respect, but no one gave it to her, and so she decided to become lonely once again. This time, only she will rule Atlas. The throne will be hers, and she will use the power of a Schnee. All she have to do is kill. A few hours later, Atlas turned into hell. People running away while burning alive after Weiss became the leader of the whole continent. The people who stay has to obey everything she asks or gets punished from the Ice Queen herself. She sat on the edge of the bed and looks at herself, with blood stains from her father and brother. She takes her clothes off and has a feeling of regrets. The Schnee's legacy is mine to lead now, no one can control me what to do. She took a quick glance at a beacon portrait in her room and decided to go to the place for a homicide. Atlas was already out of control, and it will be more out of control if she left, but she has no need of conquering land. Killing enemies and innocent peoples is the only hobby she has. She took her Myrtanaster and a few dust containers to go on this journey. Maybe she'll meet someone she knows. Hiding in the shadows, waiting for the right time to strike. The young cat is jumping buildings to buildings in Vale, looking for her previous partner. It was funny how easy it would be, since her current leader created genocide not long ago. She was beginning to wonder where she is, but she has to complete her goal first before worrying about her team. Then her pain starts to ache, the wound that was made by the leader of the White Fang a while ago. She dropped down in one knee, groaning in pain as she holds her side. As she tries to get up, a voice can be heard above her head. She looks up and abruptly went a few feet back. "Hello, my love." He smirked. She grinds her teeth, annoyed by his voice and appearance. Adam, the leader of the White Fang, explained to her about bringing her back into the group, but she refuses. He brought a hostage and attempts to kill the person if she didn't join back, but without hesitation she shot the person cold-blooded. Adam was indeed surprised. As he dropped his guard, she ran towards him without making a sound and then slices him multiple times to weaken his aura. Adam sheathed his blade and thrust her in the heart, but it was only an illusion. The real cat comes behind him and put a blade up to his neck. She chopped his head off while holding onto his hair. Blood squirt all over her body from the bottom of his neck. She throws the head on the ground and squishes it with her feet until his head pops. After she looks at the decapitated body, her new favorite color is now red. After walking from the dead body, members of the White Fang heard the news and decided to ambush her. They all surrounded her, with high-class guns aiming right at the kitty cat. She smirked, then throws her gamble shroud and pulls the ribbon to create a circle of her blade. The blade gashed through all their heads in a single circumference. She is completely drenched in blood, but she can't stop killing. Her only goal now is to reunite with her team. As she walks through the unknown forest, she saw a flash of red zooming by the trees. She walks towards the area and saw a little girl in red, standing still with her hood over her head. As the little girl takes off her hood, her skin is also red, dripping bit by bit. The faunus can barely recognize her leader by the blood splattered all over her face. "Aren't you that girl that exploded?" she said with a smirk. The little red girl smiled at her, thinking she was joking. She laughed, creating a wide smile for the kitty cat. They both walked together, hoping to find the others to form Team RWBY again. As they walk out of the forest, footsteps can be heard behind some bushes. The faunus look in every speck of the area, and after a few minutes, they finally found the source. It was a husband and a wife with a toddler behind his dad. They were shaking in fear from the appearance of the faunus, which was all covered in blood. She smirked, not even caring for the family. She sheathed her blade and pierced through the dad's chest, cutting a circle before grabbing the beating heart from the person and squish it, which splattered blood all over her face as she smirked. The woman ran off with the child in her hand after they witness a murder right in front of them. The faunus throws her gamble shroud, skewer the mom's head, bringing back the blade with her brain. The child was dropped, but she decided to leave him starved to death. After some more mass murder of humans, both the cat and the little girl heads back to Beacon to look for more victims. Yang Xiaolong, a true powerhouse of the team. She woke up from a deep sleep in her house and decided to go downstairs. Her eyes were blurry at the moment because of her pupil that hasn't adjusted its size yet. As she walked downstairs, she slipped on something wet, something that smelled awful. She was wrapped around with the stench and realizes that it was blood, blood from her own father. She was here. She said to herself. RWBY was well known, the cold-blooded killer and leader of Team RWBY. Yang, who is her older sister, helped her accomplish her goals, which was to put humans to extinction. Yang wasn't surprised about her father's death, instead she left him alone and went off to Vale to find her loved one. She grabbed her golden ember celicas and head off to the forest. As she walked into the thick trees, Grims were seen running towards her. She has no expression at all and punch through the Grim, then grab its heart. She throw the heart at another Grim, then blows his head off. Blood splattered all over her body, which creates a stench to attract more Grim. She continued to punch her way through the forest and hoping to find the others. She entered Vale and see tons of bodies with rose petals next to them. As she run to every area of Vale, Little Red has been spotted. Her cape was blown by the wind as she turned her bloody face towards Yang. The little girl gave Yang a hug, then a kiss to the lips, showing a sign that she happy to see her. Yang then deepens the kiss, showing her love affections towards RWBY. After a couple of minutes, they both head to the top of Beacon Tower, where the rest of the team is there. There was a lot of people in Vale, and some has gotten in the tower to hide. Yang saw a glimpse of peoples, running at the end of the hallway and immediately shot them with her strong, piercing bullets. At the top of Beacon Tower, there they was, the team killers who named themselves, Team RWBY. They all seem so happy that the kingdom of Vale has fallen in the depths of 4 young girls. As Yang walked closer to the glass window, she accidentally stepped on the headmaster's dead body. She looked at him, and became disgusted. She grabbed his head, and twisted it until the whole head pops out of the neck. Blood spew out of the neck and showered on the girls. She threw the head through the glass, which shatters it, and look out the window. The silence, and the fire-filled air of Vale. The rest of the kingdoms is next on the list, and after that, Team RWBY has conquered Remnant. After a while of staring at the darkness of Vale, Yang decided that it was an appropriate time to go to the bathroom. She quickly went to the nearest stall and would spend hours in there. Then, there was knock on the door. Yang expected one of the girls to be behind the door, but now they're repetitive knocking. Yang slowly gets dressed and attempt to kill the person after she opens the door. After she opens it, a familiar gray-haired guy was standing in the way. The guy who cheated his way through the Vital Festival, that made Yang embarrassed and scared. Without hesitation, Yang quickly punches him straight in the face, then shot her shotgun's gauntlets, decreasing his aura dramatically. She stepped on his face, looking down on him with disgust. She hold up a peace sign and gouge his eyeballs out. Blood leak out everywhere. Yang grabs the 2 eyeballs and began to chew them like candy. Blood runs down from the corner of her mouth, her teeth as red as RWBY's cape. She left Mercury to die, and went to join back her team.